We are in the car today. Galvo's feeling sick, so it's like, this is kind of for me, so I don't really like shooting these with other people around. I think I get a little self-conscious. But aside from that, it's a gorgeous day in Bozeman. Had an awesome weekend. Played a ton of golf, played a ton of cards. Got to go see Dogs in a Pile at Pine Creek. Those guys are the fucking shit. Live music is going to save the human species. Of this, I have no doubt. My beard is coming in. I am still financially in a position that I have no idea what I'm going to do. And deeper than that, I also know that God is going to save me. Like Jesus Christ has saved me. And God has saved me. And that I don't need to stress about these little things. And I had a thought the other moment. I said, in any moment I can choose which version of my life I want to live. I really can. You really can. And it's in that choice that I think a lot of people get hung up on because it's new. You know what I mean? Like, it's very new. To forego your preconceived ideals and ideas around how life could really look. And when we step into that, it's like there can be real inspiration and creativity and openness and potential there. But again, you've been fed a series of lies, myself included, around how we're supposed to engage with the world. And it's so funny how when we decide to make that choice, how the universe is literally just going to test that. Like, okay, how much can you lean into that? How much can you do that? Can you ignore the fear from your parents, right? Like, my dad is a very fear control based individual. He's a very loving individual, but his entire MO for a long time has been that, and like fear. And I have to be, if I have no control, then I can't live a meaningful life. That's his, that's where his stems from. Mine was another, which is if I fall into fear, then I'm going to live a life that is unenthusiastically unaligned. And today I'm really feeling the waves, bro. That 5D, I'm just like, it's wild. Water and orange juice. Fucking smoked my thumb today in the gym. Owie. But I think that because we get so hung up on in the compartmentalization of our own lives, that we spend more time looking for outside reinforcements to that, right? I talked a little bit about the confirmation bias that people create, especially when it comes to how people look, especially when it comes to how things look, or the job you have, or all these other things. Because again, society has created this expectation, this norm. That's totally going to overheat my phone. I might just hold it here. Sorry, friends. Society has created a norm that what you do will create that, if that makes sense. Like, society has dictated what you do is more valuable than who you are, right? Like, look at that dude Clav, bro. That dude is so cooked. Because it's all outside of him. You know what I mean? And inside, it's like, sure, there might be a certain level of self-efficacy and brilliance that comes to becoming successful in the 3D sense, but it's what's it rooted in, man, is having to prove yourself because your parents didn't know how to love you when they were, our age. It's a wild concept. It's a really wild concept. And when we're unable to have our needs met, right, we turn outside. And that looks very differently for a lot of different people, but especially for me, when I began kind of this journey of self-realization many, many years ago, I was always looking for the next piece of knowledge or wisdom that would allow me to really realign with myself so that I could move through life in a more seamless and water-like, And the issue, again, very similarly, is that there's no piece of wisdom, there's no piece of knowledge, there's no piece of the answer to life that you're looking for is in a book somewhere, but it's not going to actually solve it. It's going to give you the tools, it's going to add to your toolbox to build the version of yourself that you like to create. And for me, again, like, I take a lot of strides, but then I really fall back into like the self-sabotage. I fall back into, because I have all the information. I know that if I don't do XYZ and I do PDQ, that my life will look a certain way, but I fall back into XYZ because PDQ, as mentioned, affects my nervous system because it's new. And so even if we do have all of the information, even if we do think we're making the right choices, whether or not that is going to sit is really just in you learning to embody those things in life, which just takes life experience. It takes life to do that. And so again, as soon as we're able to step out of that, right, that heaviness, the weight of life, which for me has been through higher powers. It's been drugs, for sure. Maybe not the most formed concept, but something that was different than me that allowed me to be in a different space. It's been music. Music is everything. It's been Christ and God. I found lessons through Buddhahood and through Bodhisattva teachings and practices, and reading all of these very esoteric and ancient, very powerful books, the Mahabharata, reading the Quran and reading, some of these in the Bible and all these things, and trying to grapple with, okay, but where do these actually sit in my life? And it really is just in practice. But the practice that we've been taught, right, is that it has to be, if you're not sober and if you don't and you're less of a human and less of a man, and this war on gender and all this stuff turns back to a very subsect of evil that I've also discussed. But fortunately, practices can change, viewpoints can change, perspective can change. You want to know why I love Kendrick Lamar's music so much? Is that guy is self-actualized as fuck. You understand? Prince, Michael Jackson, self-actualization is where we are going to find the divine in ourselves. But to do so, you kind of got to go through the fire. Your boy is in the shits right now, bro. Mentally, physically, spiritually, fucking wild. And very on the other side of that is a real opportunity to teach others. And again, all of what I'm kind of trying to bring is this, I know where I am best, right? It's around a campfire with my guitar teaching or showing, right? Like the fruits, right? How do I show people how to authentically engage in their lives with the fear attached, right? Very still, the delete button is always a button that I'm very interested in pressing. Now, whether or not that's rooted in my ego, we can have a greater discussion of that. Whether it is just yo, man, I kind of want to be done, we can have another discussion of that. But I mean, deep down, again, it's there's just so much cool shit that I want to see in this life, and as a human being, I can allow those fears to ruin it, or I can just be fuck it, man, God's got it. And that's really where I think it's important. Not even I think, it is important to begin to create relationships with things that are outside of yourself. Because if we don't, then we're not going to be able to take that same lens and mirror that we see in the world and then repurpose it and reutilize it for ourselves. Conceptually, right, that's pretty easy to follow, but linearly, right, do you want to know why guys have hobbies, girls? It's for that exact reason. It gives us a moment to get outside of ourselves for a bit, right? And ladies, the reason that you guys suck at holding space for men is because you're used to holding that space for everybody, right? That's the nurturing feminine piece of it. And guys, we don't understand that somebody could be outside of their minds all the time. Not out of your mind, like drunk, but outside of your mind, because that's where we live. And so our hobbies and the spaces for the things that we love hold that for ourselves, right? And it's especially true for the generation that's like me, where we're all just so ADHD, so hyperfixated on the shit we love, because again, it wasn't the love we received when we were younger. But on top of that, there's no other place for us to feel like we have the capacity to do great things when we're in our minds all the time. And that's a generational thing that's occurred. My dad, it was happened to my dad, it happened to me, it happened to his dad and 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 his dad, and probably all the way up the chain. And the reason that we lost sight of the Most High, the reason that we lost sight of the divine, is because it's really, really difficult. It's so difficult. This is the greatest. It is so fucking difficult to be yourself. And I hate that people have here's what your path to highest self. It's dude, no. Do you need to be in good shape? You can be. I know a lot of brilliant fucking people that aren't. Do you need to stop drinking? Maybe. I know a lot of great people that don't have a fucking alcohol problem. Can't keep it on the rails. Right? Like, everybody's timeline is on their own, but again, you're not going to be able to see it unless you, and you will be able to see it, but unless you create that relationship with something that's bigger than yourself. And I use God because I think it's the God, universe, cosmos, the Dharma, whatever, the karma, whatever. It's all the same shit. Allah, the Most High, Muhammad. Like, this is what's hilarious is Muhammad wasn't wrong, dude. Like, people are like, oh, I'm like, no, you morons. Muhammad said he would be the last prophet before the end days. We're in it if he didn't get it wrong. But again, the separation stems from, it's so funny because if creating the same, I like, following one thought pathway leads you to the same place at the end of it. But then our ego gets in the way and separates those two thought lines so that they can't intersect in the middle. And it's fucking fascinating because I'm sitting here and I'm like, guys, look, take the same thing that you said over here and just put it over here for a little bit. Okay, now take this little thing you said over here and put it over here for a little bit, right? And you can grow. But nobody even wants that because it would mean that they're wrong. It would mean that you have to be wrong for a time. You'd have to be wrong for a time with the expectation that eventually we can all get on the same page. You get what I'm saying here? Picking up what I'm, smelling what I'm stepping in. I have friends who think they know. I think I might know. But innately, the difference is that the most fundamental truth, when you bring it all the way back, is that existence is. I am, right? I am. The universe is. Things are. That's it. That's as fundamental as you can. There is no truth more sacred, more holy, and more infinite and finite than existence. Sorry. And so I'm like, guys, I'm trying to get you to a space where we're preparing the mind, again, preparing the mind to allow it to analyze our own thoughts, to systematically alter and address the pieces of our nervous system that have gone unaddressed because we didn't receive the love that we needed to when we were kids. And then when we can do that and we can kind of begin to adjust the operating system a bit, for both from the mind and the body, to then usher in the soul, right? Because this is who we are. We're eternal spiritual beings that do have a soul, the soul of the universe, the soul of all mankind is in all of us. Jesus Christ died for that very same piece because God fucking came close a couple times being like, and we're back to zero. Start over again. And I think it was in this last pantheon that we really started to see like God having faith in us and also kind of keeping the wiretap, so to speak, like watching out. I don't think you'll realize how pissed. And this is actually more for the evildoers who constantly have been monitoring my phone and my Instagram and my YouTube recently and my life. I've had, gang stalking is, dude. Anyway. You guys fucked up when you killed Charlie Kirk. I think you guys don't realize how bold you got with that and how much swing there is going to be because of that moment individually. Now, has it been stacking up? Absolutely. Has God got you guys? Woo, have fun. Eternity's a long time in hell and suffering. I thought I wish that for you. I just am aware that I don't have to be the judge, jury, and executioner. And that's a big question I have with myself is if infinite compassion is, what do you do to these evildoers? It's like, well, fortunately, I'm not judge, jury, or executioner, so I don't have to make that call. But they fucked up when they killed Charlie Kirk, man. Because even he didn't really have it all the way right, but that dude was a good fucking dude. He might have been an idiot, and he might not have really understood the broader esoteric themes and the broader ancient battle of good and evil, and I think he was starting to figure it out. But when you kill someone like that, what happens is that the universe, the aliens, everybody goes, broke the rules. And they keep breaking the rules. And the reason that they keep breaking the rules is for the same conversation that I'm having is fear. It is a fundamental fear, right? Because when we're afraid, we're going to do things that are going to increase our ability to remove the fear. Unfortunately, you can't remove the fear. And it's funny because I'm just like, if these people just gave up their guns, right, and just laid it all down and came out, I don't like to use this as a blanketed term, but the tiny hat, long nose people, and it's not even them, it's the people that are above and behind them. Like, if you just stopped, dude, he might let you get away with it. Like, he might, like, I mean, in the 3D, like, yeah, you're probably not going to come back, right? There might be some shit you got to pay for in the 3D for burning and killing and raping children. But in the 5D, he might be like, yeah, dude, I forgive you guys. I get it. You didn't understand. You were lied to, too. The issue is that they're not going to lay it down. And so that's why it's on us to find new ways to approach fear and compassion and empathy on a day-to-day basis. So that has nothing to do with paying my bills. You get what I'm saying? I can be that, and I am that in every moment, regardless of what I'm seeing outside of me. And that's the frame that you have to step into if you want to be a part of this new tribe of humans on earth that lead through love and light. That's the currency. It's so cool, man. Because you go through like all these stages in life and it just doesn't make sense. Dude. And people like, they'll sell it to you that they know, because everybody knows what it's like for it not to make sense. And I'm one of those people, not selling it to you, but knows what it's like when it just doesn't make sense. And it will make sense. It's about to make sense. The fuck you... Is that a ladybug? That is not a ladybug. Do not come in here. Look at this guy. Don't you fucking dare, my boy. Oh shit, let me do this real quick so it doesn't connect. But yeah, so it's like, Sam, okay, then what's the fucking point? And again, I hope to be in a position where I can really show how to connect Christ with the earthly desires, with music, with all of these things. Because on the underside of all of the shit that you see in the world is a real joy. And Jesus Christ died. Look, dude, I got my glow back. Jesus Christ died for that spark, that joy, those tiny fleeting moments where it all feels like it's going to be okay, and it is okay. That was what the sacrifice was made for. He died for our sins. And if you haven't done that deep dive yet, then you might not ever. But through that, right, there's real beauty there, man. And I'm really just trying to live in that pocket away from the 5D, bro. And it is really difficult. Because there are a million things every day, and I'm a hypocrite and a sinner and a moron and name it. But I'm also I'm really endowed and blessed, man. I connect with anybody. I'll make anyone feel seen. I'll make anyone laugh. I'll dance and dance, bro. And sing and get naked and run through the woods. You know what I mean? That's me, bro. And it took me, I can't believe I forgot that shit, man. I was chilling at Gavo's birthday, and we're just like around the fire, and I'm chefing up on the fire, which I hadn't done in a minute. And he's like, and I'm like, this is me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is where this is where Sam, that was all ego-based, is supposed to be. And I don't know how I'm going to create it in life, but I don't need to know how, because I know that the blessings are coming my way. And I know that they're coming to you too. And I'm sorry that things have been so rough, and I see you. I see you. And I get it. And you can't go any further. And it's scary, and there's nowhere to go, and there isn't. So we're going to go inward now, right? And we're going to start to reapproach the way our mind is viewing the world. This isn't a manifestation thing. This transcends that. This isn't a desired thing. This transcends that. This is a formulaic restructuring of who you are to create the space for God to come in and then take you over the hill. Okay? So again, how do we do that? It's a couple things. One, we got to start meditating. We got to start to witness our own thoughts. We got to catch our breath, right? Learn some mantras, learn some chants, right? Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, right? Gate, Parasamgate, Bodhisvaha, right? Things like that people are like, well, that's not Christian. Correct, but it is ancient, and it transcends your ability to manifest a reality you're not even capable of realizing how short you're going to sell yourself when you do that shit. Well, we do this when we formulate, like, I'm not have a course to sell. I'm dropping fucking knowledge. Analyze your thoughts, witness what you're saying to yourself, recreate them, bring up past experiences that you've had, witness your body get triggered, go to the part of you that is triggered in the body, tell that part that it's okay and I love you, and then move on. Now, I'm kind of giving you the shits. I'm going to do a big brass tacks nervous system reset. This is why we fast, because the body will nap by day. If you can get to 75 hours, that's going to take some months. I will do a teaching on how to get to fasting that is incredible. Why it's important, what it does for you, outside of like, it's good for your butt gut. It's good for your butt. It's good for your gut biome. Sure, that's like the beginner level shit of why you want to fast. But then through the nervous system, that's how you quantum leap. You don't wait for a date. You don't wait for the blue moon. They're helpful portals, but that's not, the work has to be done internally through the two things that are keeping you alive on this planet, the mind and the body. The mind may have been a bit of a evolutionary error, but unfortunately I wasn't the one that ate the apple, so I don't know what to fucking tell you. And then the other point of that is like, dude, your body stores all that shit, so let's just give it a little bit of rest. Drink more water. Have some fun, man. Life's only going to get weirder, so you might as well enjoy it. I'm going to shows all the time. I will be at shows all the time. Live music, baby. Pick up an instrument, read a book. But anyway, the greater thing is that you've got this, and I believe in you because I believe in God. And I'm cooked in the 3D. Sam is cooked right now. But I know by the end of this week, some massive miracle is going to happen, and I'm going to be right back to where I need to be. And again, here's a better one. If you don't have faith that the world's going to work out, or you don't understand anything about the shit I'm saying, dude, go help somebody. Go help somebody. And they'll help you. And I love you. Keep keeping on. Have a great rest of your day. We're rolling. I don't think they've opened up the seals yet, but more to come in regards to the Lamb of God and cracking some cool seals. Yeah, I love you. Have a great day.